Insurgency Sandstorm, a tactical shooter designed around one word: realism. A game series that started out as just a mod and brought about an entire company, today known as New World Interactive. A game series that has been known by the PC community for several years now, but only been a distant dream for console players. Now, while us PC players have been able to hop on and get into whatever matches we like, the console universe has been forced to wait. To get their fix, they've been forced to search Insurgency gameplay to see highlights from creators. Now, not for me of course, because I'm trash and a half most days, but there are some good ones out there. Not only that, console players interested in the game have been let down by a delayed release. Expecting a 2019 release date, they're now forced to wait several more months to this spring of 2020, hoping and praying that that date doesn't change. Now, let's assume for a moment that this date is accurate and that the game releases in the spring of 2020. I've really been mulling over the release over the past few days and really been thinking about the success that's to come. If we take a look at the daily numbers on PC, the game sits around 1,500 to 2,000 players a day, at the making of this video anyway, with some spikes in the previous months due to some free weekends. However, since the release of the game, the numbers have dropped from a peak of about 8,000 players, and now the peak is around 3,500. These numbers, of course, aren't terrible. They're obviously not amazing, but they're definitely numbers that allow me to hop on whenever I want and find a game. But with the numbers dwindling like this, the question that really pops up when it comes to the console releases: will it fail? With such a small player base on such a large platform like PC, will this game be a flop when it comes to consoles? Now, obviously no one can tell the future, but we can predict based on what we know right now. So the simple answer, if you just want to know my answer and shut off the video, is no, it's not going to fail. I honestly think Sandstorm is going to be a huge success when it launches into consoles, and I think it's going to bring an entirely new genre to consoles and, well, rocket NWI to the next level. Bold claims, I know, but let me explain where I'm coming from, because without any facts to back up my claim, this is just a feeling. And as we all know, friends, facts don't care about your feelings. Comment down below what you guys think though. Will the game be a flop? Let me know if you disagree with any of this, and I'd love to chat about it and hear your thoughts on my Discord or Twitter or whatever, all down below. Okay, so let's go into what we know. First, we know that products and sales are driven by supply and demand. Without the supply for a product, people can't get what they want or need, and without demand for a product, nobody's going to buy that product if it's available. So in order to get a better understanding, let's start by taking a look at the supply portion of the market and the genre. As far as first-person shooters go, what's available on consoles and what are the best sellers? Is there anything on the console market that even somewhat resembles Insurgency? Because if this game were just be another copy and paste of other games, this game is likely a flop, or at least just another indie-developed shooter on the PlayStation or Xbox store lineup. In this case, there's not. When we look at what's available on console, games like Call of Duty, Destiny, more Call of Duty, Battlefield, Overwatch, these types of games, while they do have a huge fan support, are all very casual shooters. Sure, Call of Duty has hardcore mode, but a majority of these games have a higher time to kill than what Insurgency offers, which makes sense at this point. The idea of a console is to provide easy access to games where you hop on and don't have to worry about all that extra stuff that comes with the PC, so you can play quickly and end quickly if you need to. Not that that's any different with PC, but I think that's the misconception, as well as the selling point when it comes to consoles. Ease of access for more casual playstyles. This has left a portion of the market in the dust. The market for realistic shooters just hasn't been there. On the flip side, it's also a market that hasn't really been attempted. Nobody has really attempted to bring a purely hardcore tactical shooter to consoles, that I know of anyway, and that makes Sandstorm the first of its kind to be brought to this market, which, of course, is a risk and a bold step. The first hardcore tactical shooter being brought to a system that is marketed as something that's not so hardcore. What company wants to take that kind of risk and wade in the waters first, not knowing which way the waters are going to flow? Good luck convincing a room of suits that the fruit is ripe based on no data points. But NWI is doing that, and I respect taking that risk. Risk is what drives progress, and risk is what develops growth. So, props to you, NWI, for taking that risk. Now we know the market itself is dry, but what about the interest? We know a market is also driven by supply and demand, so what is the demand of this project? How can we know people want this game? Now, I'm sure NWI has analytics that are unavailable to me, so I can't know the level of interest in the console release other than what's available on the interwebs. The easiest place to look, honestly, is YouTube. When you search things like Insurgency Sandstorm console release, you get a bunch of videos, but only around 40k maximum views at the top of the list, and numbers being in the lower thousands as you progress downward. not really a good sign. Now sure, Jack Frags and Level Cap have a few videos about Sandstorm that have a lot of views, but I don't think we can count those to be accurate when it comes to what people are searching for. They're just creators with a huge following. So searches on YouTube unfortunately are not a great indicator of a successful launch. However, there is one main factor I think that better indicates the game is going to do well. And honestly, it's not based on Insurgency. It's the game Escape from Tarkov. I'm sure you've heard of it. A game that obviously has blown up over the past few months. A game that garnered 100,000 views all at one time on Twitch. All the big FPS streamers are playing it right now and loving it. A hardcore tactical shooter that their fans love. Now this is where Insurgency can step in and make a play. Console players that are watching these streamers are foaming at the mouth over a tactical shooter on consoles. Now while the new Modern Warfare is still a Call of Duty, it's also been shaped a little bit more as a tactical shooter, and it's got its highest sales of all time for a Call of Duty game. If I had to guess some numbers, I bet more console players are playing hardcore and realism mode in the newest game than ever before, and I bet that number spiked even more recently after console players are thirsty for that realistic feel. Enter Insurgency Sandstorm. Now after pushing the most recent update to PC with finally optimized performance and tweaks to balance to allow a little bit more casual play, I bet they're preparing for this launch, and the recent update was a test to how the gameplay would change before the console release. Here in the spring of 2020 is a perfect time to release the game, the first of its kind to consoles. This is honestly the closest thing to Tarkov that these console watchers can get their hands on, and when they do, they're going to want more. Especially if this game remains at $30 on console. $30 is an excellent deal for what you get with this game on PC, and if that price point remains, people are going to flock to this game. However, there still remains an issue with the game. Marketing. I know right now that the team at NWI is pushing for a more competitive scene, and they're pushing for more content creators to get on board, which is a great thing, but they need to start marketing to consoles, as long as the plan is still this spring anyway. I would honestly be willing to bet that that's probably what the free weekend push was for as well. The revenue from the small influx of players has probably boosted the marketing budget just a bit, so NWI needs to start throwing that out. Start pushing. Market as the only hardcore tactical shooter on console. Show the realism in your marketing videos, show the attention to detail, people will swallow that up. Now if they play their cards right, the game can become the next big thing. A pioneer into the new popular genre on consoles. You can mark my words right here. Right now, Tacti says it. This game is going to change the console market, and there will be an influx of tactical shooters in the years to come. NWI is about to take a huge step forward, being a name known to all first-person shooter fans. Now, if I'm wrong and you're watching this video 1 year down the road, I give you permission to make fun of me in the comments down below and tell me I'm a moron. You might even do that right now, but remember, the internet is forever. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps up this video, this opinions video. If you enjoyed it, feel free, of course, to leave a quick like, and you can subscribe for more content on hardcore tactical gaming. Now, I'm available on Twitter and my Discord server, both linked down below, and honestly, I'm pretty down to earth, and I feel like I'm a friendly guy, so feel free to reach out and just say hi, even if it's just to get acquainted. Tell me what you guys think down below. Do you think I'm full of hoo-hockey, or do you think that this game is actually going to do really well on the consoles? Let me know down below as well. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. I'll see you all on the battlefield. Take care.